Hello buddy and welcome to episode 27 of Brunswald. In this episode we're gonna work on the Marina, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail. And we're also gonna do some more expansion in the city and work on some small things like a water tower and some wind turbines out in the countryside as well. Those are all like, or at least the wind turbines I've seen suggestions for in the comments. So I wanted to do some of that stuff before we actually finish off this project, because there isn't gonna be a whole lot of more episodes of this project. Maybe, I don't know, I don't really want to say, but like around episode 30, I think we're gonna start wrapping this series up. Because the city is like pretty much complete. Like there is a few more areas that I want to work on. But yeah, we're really starting to finish up this whole city, which is really cool. Like I never wanted it to be just like a really big city, which you can just keep on expanding for however long, sort of like New Toulouse was. And I haven't really like ended New Toulouse, in case you're wondering. I'm just not really playing there right now because I don't have any inspiration for that project, because it just felt like I just kept on building and there's just so many areas to fill out, and that's sort of what I didn't really want to do with this project. I wanted to feel like I could actually finish the whole city, because it felt really good when I did Berrysville and completed that town, even though that was like a really small project. But I wanted to sort of get that feeling again when you complete a whole project. It was just really nice, and we're definitely going to be able to do that with Brunswald, which is super exciting to actually have a complete city. Even though this is definitely bigger than Berrysville. Berrysville was like around 11 episodes or something like that. So yeah, but just preparing you for the finale of Brunswald, which is gonna come pretty soon. But we still have some cool stuff left to do, so yeah. Alright, so let me talk a little bit about what I'm doing here on screen. So I've been working on this like planned Swedish neighborhood, which has these one-story apartments, or no, not apartments, row house buildings. These are very common in Sweden. You do see these in a lot of like neighborhoods. I think a lot of those were built during the 1970s, I'm pretty sure. So I wanted to do something more interesting with the suburbs for Brunswald, because I've been using all of those like European suburbia buildings by Avania, and I just wanted to sort of change it up a bit and do some different kind of neighborhood, and decided to use those sort of row houses, these Swedish ones. And I pretty much went with my own sort of experience with these neighborhoods that I've been to in real life, and yeah, I think it turned out nice, and definitely some more interesting, or definitely made the suburbs more interesting to have a neighborhood like that. Alright, so what I'm working on now is this little, I guess you could say national park, even though I guess it's not really a national park. I don't know. This is just like a more uncontained, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's not like a very like manicured park or anything like this. There's just like a lot of wildness and stuff, and just these gravel paths just going all around these hills here. So this is just a really nice hiking area, and a national preserve area, maybe that's the name for it, I'm not sure. But yeah, just think of it more as like a national park here. So I made that like gravel parking lot there, where you would just go and park your car and then I guess go hiking a bit. And there are some really nice views up from this parking area here, because this is on top of the hill here. So you have some really good views of all of the different areas that we worked on. The whole harbor, and obviously the whole city, and yeah, you can just pretty much see every area of Brunswald from here, which I think is very cool. So I'm definitely gonna make sure to get some cool cinematics from this place here, and I think I've seen some suggestions in comments to do something like this with those hills there, and I think it turned out great, so hopefully you guys like that as well. But now we're getting into the main part of this episode, which is the marina here. I wanted to make another marina in this city. This will probably be, yeah, this will definitely be the last marina that we're making. But I want to put this here sort of to give that road that is going from the city center out here, give that road a more of a meaning, I guess, to why it actually exists. And I sort of like to do that with more major roads, because they usually have a reason why they exist. And for this one, this would just be the, or back in the day, this would have been the area where a lot of the fish and stuff came into Brunswald. This was more of like a fishing port back in the day. And we're gonna put down some cool like colored small buildings pretty soon, which is also gonna make it look like an old fishing port, which has sort of been redeveloped to a more leisure port, I guess you could say, which is what this is now, because I didn't really put any like fishing boats or anything like that. But that's sort of the history that I'm thinking of with this harbor, and that's why they built this this road going out here, because this would have probably been here for quite some time, at least since the start of the 20th century or something like that, maybe. So a pretty old port area here. But yeah, so I'm using a lot of those, or the network, or what is it called? No, the Terraform Network. Those roads, or yeah, they act like roads. They're not really roads, but yeah, those are very, or that's that asset by Ronix is very useful when you're making these marinas, because you can just like precisely decide where you want the terrain and stuff to be. And I wanted to have the breakwaters be a little bit thinner as well, so I put down one of those in the water. You saw me do the breakwaters a few minutes ago, but I put down one of those terraforming networks in the water and got all of the terrain raised up, and then I put down another one right next to it and just sink that down in the ground, so it gets rid of some of the terrain to make the breakwater a bit thinner, because that's what I wanted to have, because this is obviously not a like huge port, so the breakwater wouldn't need to be very thick. So yeah, I do like how that turned out. But now I'm putting down these small little buildings, which I'm pretty sure are allotment buildings from the European Suburbia content creator pack by Avania. I've been wanting to use these like small buildings, and they're really cool. You do see these in a lot of marinas in Sweden, at least. I'm pretty sure like in all of Scandinavia as well. This is pretty common. I think Denmark tends to have some marinas and stuff with these small. They tend to be red. These small red buildings. And I thought it was a cool thing to put in this marina to make it a little bit more unique and sort of show that this is a fairly old little port area here. So that's probably where they would have put in the fish or something, and I don't know, done something with the fish. I don't know what you would do there, or maybe like the fishman or the fisherman, I think, yeah, the fishermen that worked on the boats and stuff, they might have lived in those buildings or something back in the day. But nowadays it's just like kiosks and stuff, and some cafes, I would imagine. And I think it turned out really cool. But now I'm putting down these like wooden piers here, which are lower than those docks. So they can fit a little bit better with the actual boats, which we're putting down now. And yeah, I tend to use those piers for marinas like this. But yeah, so we're pretty much at the 10-minute mark now, and as usual, I tend to leave you with some music around this time. So yeah, enjoy the music, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the marina at this point, and I put down that seafood restaurant there as well a few minutes ago in the marina. I wanted to have some sort of like fancy restaurant there, and I think that asset actually is vanilla, so that's pretty good for a vanilla asset. Yeah, so I think the marina turned out nice, especially with that restaurant and some like outside serving areas and stuff. I think it worked out nice. But I wanted to fill in this little area over here with some just normal residential buildings and like a few pretty nice big buildings, especially those two that are facing the ocean there. One of them is like a really modern one, which has a pretty interesting driveway, and the other one is one of those like French suburb buildings. And yeah, this is still a like very nice area of Brunswald. It's close to the whole, or it's right next to the luxury hotel and like the vineyard and stuff. So this is still a very fancy area of Brunswald. So I wanted to have some nice like bigger buildings, I guess, and some modern buildings, and yeah, but also just doing some of these normal residential buildings here, which some of these look a little bit older as well, because I didn't want to have just a bunch of like brand new mansions and stuff here. I wanted to have some like older, smaller buildings that have been here since this was like a fishing port and stuff like that. So I think it turned out good, and then just detailing this little beach over here, and I think it turned out cool. But I wanted to just mention that Klaus, he put out a really nice road that I talked about. I talked about a road like that in the live stream of Brunswald I did a while ago. Just a normal road without any curbs or parking. And he was watching that live stream and decided to create that road. So you're seeing some cinematics of that road right now, and I just replaced it in the retail park area. That road that goes next to all of those car dealerships. That's where I wanted to have something like that, and it turned out really great. So thanks a lot to Klaus for making that road. It turned out awesome, and it works really nice here. And I put it down, or I guess I should say I upgraded a few roads to that one in other places as well in the city. And yeah, it's just a very cool road, and it works really nice. So thanks a lot for making that. But yeah, back to the time lapse. I just worked on like a parking lot there for the marina. I thought that would be realistic, because you would have like tourists and stuff coming here, or just like people from all around town, just wanting to have a place to park so they can visit the marina. So I definitely thought it made sense to put down a parking lot there. And then besides this parking lot, I put down this modern mansion here. Or, I mean, this is not really a mansion. Like, this one is not that huge. It doesn't even have like any yard or anything. This is just, I guess, a nicer apartment, which is sort of a standalone building as well. It turned out pretty weird, but I think it's still a pretty interesting building. And I'm gonna do more of this kind of stuff on these hills here. Later on in some other episode, we're gonna work on a bunch of like modern mansions and stuff facing the ocean side. So that was just, I guess, a little bit of a preview of all of that, which I think is gonna be really cool. Then I'm putting down some of these wind turbines here. I downloaded these custom ones from the workshop, and just putting them out here in the countryside, and I think it turned out really nice. It looks very good. And then also this water tower that I've been wanting to use for a long time. This one looks really realistic. This is sort of how the water towers here in Sweden look. And I've been wanting to use this asset for quite some time, so I decided to put it here next to the industrial area. But that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel. If you're new, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's gonna do it. Have a great day, take care, and bye-bye.